Texas Senator Ted Cruz. But thankfully, this one is played by Tim Kardashian from the Constituents, a political impersonation comedy group here in D.C. Now, Cruz rose to fame as one of the faces of the Tea Party movement, but then it got all twisted when he ran for president. Now he's become a bit of a verbal punching bag for both parties. We talked to him about his desire to assert control over D.C. schools, yes, D.C. schools, and more. Here's part of that conversation. Texas Senator Ted Cruz, first of all, thank you so much for being with us, Senator.
Thank you, Reese. It's always a pleasure to be on the most trusted news network, Fox News.
Well, actually, this is CBS, Senator.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, this is open mic on CBS.
You know, I had a staffer. A staffer mentioned something about CBS, and I thought he meant CBS. CBS. Like watching BS. So I just assumed we were talking about Tucker Carlson tonight. I'm sorry. I hope you don't mind. I brought a shovel. Is that okay, Reese?
Yeah. That's fine, Senator. You know what? While we're on the subject of Fox News, because I want to ask you about when you appeared on their network, because host Tucker Carlson invited you on the show to apologize for using the word terrorist to describe the January 6th insurrectionists. Tourists, patriots, whatever you want to call a guy dressed up like Bullwinkle meets Braveheart. How would you describe your relationship with the Fox News folks these days?
Tucker did seem a little upsetty spaghetti on TV. However, you know, he called me afterwards and he just wanted to make sure that there was absolutely no beef between us. The score is settled. This isn't my first radio, and it certainly isn't my last magic show.
I'm sorry, you said magic show?
I did, Reese. It's all a magic show. It's all a great big magic show. I was Penn and he was Yeller. So what happens was we bickered like an old married couple. And the big illusion, Reese, was that the American people didn't even think at all about Donald Trump sending a violent mob to attack the Capitol. It's really great magic, Reese. It's wonderful. You should try it sometime. Next week, me and Sean Hannity, we might cut Kellyanne Conway in half.
Ted, I feel like you're not giving me the whole story here.
Oh, Reese, I know it does seem there's a little bit of tension, a little bit of friction between me and Tucker Carlson, but trust me, that's just because he's a Taurus and most people think I'm a Cancer. But here's the thing, Reese. We come together like a fiscally responsible Voltron, okay, to attack the radical Biden agenda, okay? This radical Biden agenda that most Americans voted for in a free and fair election. Radical.
Now, the next story, Senator, you recently announced plans to introduce a bill to overturn the vaccine mandate for D.C. school children. Now, this has caused outrage in the district as the city does not want your legislation. Imagine that.
Well, here's the thing, Reese. Here's why I'm going to create this legislation, okay? Because I believe, plain and simple, in liberty and justice for most, okay? I believe in personal freedoms. We get to do whatever the heck we want to do in Texas. And trust me, we're not going to be told what we can and can't do. And I have the fajita plate scars on these fingers to prove that. Now, here's the thing. A vaccine mandate for children? Reese, come on. That's communism. The very same communism that George Washington battled against. It's unacceptable.
Senator, I don't believe that the British were communists. I don't believe that is true.
Listen, Reese, I don't know what kind of woke history books you've been reading on your end, okay? But I'm pretty sure the founding fathers were fighting socialist communist agendas.
Before we wrap up, Senator, I do have to ask you what you think of this weekend's forecast in D.C.
It's looking awfully cold, Reese. A little bit of snow, a little bit of a wintry mix, and I can't stand for that. So when the cold front moves in, Ted Cruz moves out. Bye.
Oh, liberty and justice for some. If those aren't words to live by. Fantastic, by the way, logo. If you want to hear more from Ted/Tim and the rest of the constituents, follow them on Instagram at ConstituentsDC to hear about any of their upcoming shows. I will be there.